Hello, fanboys and girls, and welcome to the Fanboy Fight Club podcast, brought to you by Media Junkies. Every Tuesday, we grace your ears with either a new or classic episode. You can listen to previous episodes of this show and the other podcasts that Media Junkie offers, like Rogue Agents, a Division II podcast, Gimmick Minute, a wrestling podcast, by searching your favorite Media Junkies podcast on your favorite podcast app. All you gotta do is just type in Media Junkies and you'll find all of them. Isn't that great? If you're using Apple Podcasts, please leave us a 5-star review. We really appreciate it. Helps us climb up the charts and lets us know that overall we're doing a good job. You can also leave us your feedback on Twitter and Instagram at Media Junkie Vids. My name is Jason. I have the pleasure of hosting this show. It's time for me to introduce you to the fanboys, and then we'll enter into the ring for the main event, and that's where the Fight Club part comes in. So before we get that started, let's just kind of go around the horn. First, we got the brains of the Media Junkie channel brand. We have Wes. What's going on, man?
What's up, man?
I finally didn't mess up an intro. How about that?
I'm really into that.
Wow. First try.
Yeah, first take. All right. Next we have Next we have the host of the Rogue Agents podcast and Media Junkie co-founder Jarmar. What's going on, man?
Bitch of the week. What's up, Jason? Let's go Rogue.
Damn.
Yes, let's go Rogue. All right. Then we have the man who you interact with on all the Fanboy Fight Club social media accounts. Jake, what's up, man?
What's up?
How are you?
I'm okay.
All right.
I'm less than 2 weeks away from a wedding, so my brain is like fried.
Oh, no, I feel you. That's a rough time. Good luck. And last but not least, one of my co-hosts on the Gimmick Minute Wrestling podcast and the man behind all the graphics on our meet. Oh man, I totally messed up Mike's. And the man behind all of the graphics on our channel, we have Michael. How's it going, man?
Oh, that's the Jason I know and love.
Yeah, there we go. Botch City. All right.
Yep. Botch City, bitch. Could make that a t-shirt.
Before we get started, does anybody have anything they want to talk about? Anything they've been playing or excited about, or anything generally that the rest of us can shit on?
I just want to shit on Jake for not wanting to go see the Joker movie when it's great.
I don't know, dude. I just don't care. I don't know what it is. Like, I think it's one of the things where everyone's like, "Oh, it's so good, it's so good," and I'm just like, nah. I don't know. And then I heard about the ending, and I don't want to spoil it, but I fucking hate the idea of what that could possibly mean and what it is. It's just, I don't know. It seems like it tries so goddamn hard. Like, I don't know. It's just, that's just
Jarmar was trying to figure out what the hell you meant by you've heard about the ending, and then you never responded back in the spoiler chat.
Yeah, because after seeing the movie,
Okay.
there's like 4 different parts that could be considered an ending. So I'm confused, man.
I'm going to see it. I am going to see the movie tomorrow.
I'm looking at the spoiler channel right now, and you asked Mike.
Yeah, you guys definitely asked me. You didn't ask Jake at all.
God damn it, Jarmar, I spoke up for you.
I think what he was talking about is Jarmar said, "How about we take this to the spoiler?"
Yeah.
No one came over there.
All right.
Well, because we all have it open, like, or like not muted, so like we all have
kind of
access
defeats the
to
purpose.
Yeah.
I haven't muted. I'm not seeing it till tomorrow, so I definitely muted that shit.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm sure it's good. I'm sure Joaquin Phoenix does amazing, but at the end of the day, I just don't give a shit about the Joker's backstory. I'm sorry.
That's an
Or
early
even what
shout
it
out.
hints at.
Early shout out to our Discord channel, which you're more than welcome to join. In the notes or whatever the show stuff, the link will be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, come in and let Jake know how wrong he is for not wanting to see a great movie. Simple as that.
I mean, I'll see it, but I'm not going to pay $12.
The only excuse I'll give you, honestly, is because you're about to have a wedding. So that's cool.
Yeah, that's
his
totally
brain's on
it.
other things.
That is 100% the reason.
Pretty sure he texted me and invited me to go see some movie like a week ago, so he doesn't really have any excuse.
Ooh, damn, fight words.
I bet if everyone hated the movie, Jake would go see it.
So true.
I think the real problem is that he reads too much shit online instead of just seeing movies for himself.
Dude, even in the trailers, I wasn't feeling. Like when I saw.
What's that, Craig?
I'm not quite sure what that robot is trying to say.
Did Stephen Hawking join this fucking group?
And now he's gone.
And he's
No,
Alright,
I'm totally going through my
there he is.
messages. I'm going through my messages because you were in the last time I invited Mike to go to a movie.
Oh God.
It was a while
Oh
ago.
my gosh! All right,
And
It
this
was
is
like
why
a
we
week and a
should
half
fight
ago
club.
because you asked if we wanted to go to a movie. I don't remember what movie it was, but I knew I didn't want to go, so I sent her with you.
Oh wow.
Oh,
You-
It Chapter 2?
Yeah, wasn't that like 2 weeks ago?
All right. Well, while he figures that out.
yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and just move on from that. All right. So I'm actually in the battle this week because I'm the fucking bitch of the week. Yay! So I had my topic chosen for me. Yay again. So it's gonna be Jake and Wes who are gonna be hosting and judging tonight's battle. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pass the mic to you guys. Take it away.
All right. Well, welcome to the main event.
There we
Did I
go.
do it? Did I do it, Jason?
I like it.
You forgot the oh yeah.
Oh yeah, brother! Snap into
Yeah,
a
dude.
coffin. All right.
Oh, jeez, Rick.
That got dark.
Okay, then.
This week's match will feature Michael, Jarmar, and of course the bitch of the week, aka Jason, aka possible double bitch of the week. We'll see what happens here.
Ouch.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah,
week,
wait till you hear the topic they gave me, and then you'll know why he's saying that.
so this week we
Oh,
are
please
going
tell
to
me
the
it was Miss
opposite
Pac-Man.
of. Hey,
Sorry.
I will
Sorry.
fly out to Arizona and I will just tap you on the cheek, get my codes, and I'll come back to Ohio.
Promise.
Okay, so this week we're going to the opposite of last week. Last week we talked about, I can't even remember, but right now we're talking about battling over video games that should be made into movies. What a phenomenal host.
Well, if
It was
the
movies
opposite,
into
then-
video games.
Yes.
Yeah, it was literally the opposite of the topic we're doing now, so you just had to kind of turn it around.
Because you remember I won, so that's how I know.
So
God.
I really hope there's nothing bad in here because I'm literally just reading it word for word. And here we go.
Oh man, now I'm gonna have to start getting to the show sheet and just fucking with you.
Here's how the main event works. All fighters will be giving an intro round to bring up their topic, a 30-second defend round, 30-second attack round, and a closing round. In between each match, the fighter's round will be judged. The goal is to win, but the motivation is to not be the loser. The loser of the show will be deemed the next bitch of the week. Hey, Jason,
Yeah.
you're the bitch of the week. Would you like to explain to the folks at home what it means to be bitch of the week?
Oh, yeah. I guess I can. Okay. All right. So the bitch of the week is the Fanboy Fight Club punishment. The loser of the hold on. The loser. That, we've already talked about
He doesn't
that,
even
haven't we?
know what the bitch of the week is, and he is it. That's great.
All right. Yeah, so the loser, it says the loser of the round. That's what messed me up. So the loser of tonight's battle will continue on to next week, and the judges will pick the topic for them, like they picked it for me. Our job is to review the subject given and create a valid argument to get out of the loser seat, because you don't want to be the double bitch of the week. The new loser will then move on to the next podcast where the subject will be picked for them. If there are two losers, just like we had last week between myself and Michael, a sudden death will be initiated. The judges and
Which
the
you lost.
winner then pick the second place winner, and then the loser ends up being the bitch of the week. So we'll let this go 3 weeks. So we'll have the double bitch of the week, triple bitch of the week, and then after that, you're just disqualified from battling for a couple of weeks because you're just so terrible. So that is the bitch of the week in a nutshell.
That is
Back to you, Wes.
correct, Amundo. It's not convoluted at all. Okay, so here's what we'll do. We're going into round one, which is make your case. And Jake, did you end up getting the show notes?
Yes, I did.
All right. You want to give the list of what order they're going in?
Yeah, sure. So for round one, we're going to start off with Jarmar.
Oh, great.
All right,
All
buddy,
right.
make your case.
All right, so I'm making a case for a video game that should be brought to a movie. I went through a bunch of different ideas, and I landed on a game that came out this year, actually. Something really new. Not really played a lot. I would say it was received well, but I think most of you fanboys here haven't even played it. So my game is Control, and the title of the movie is Control: Investigation of the Paranormal. Sounds cool, right? So the movie begins with Jesse Faden in a studio apartment, seemingly gone insane, with newspaper clippings scattered from the top or from the floor all the way to a small window overlooking New York City. A flashback. When Jessie was a kid, she experienced her first AWE. That's an altered world event, in which her younger brother, Dylan, actually went missing. After years of investigation and following a voice in her head, she found herself standing outside of the Otis building, which is the headquarters for the FBC. That's the Federal Bureau of Control. So Jessie enters, and instead of finding a bustling office building, she finds herself all alone, wandering this empty building until she makes her way to an office with the name Zachariah Trench. That's the director of Control, FBC. So inside, she finds him dead from an act of suicide. The voice tells her in her head to pick up the gun. This is where she finds her first object of power, the service weapon. She then is transported to the astral plane, where she is appointed the title of the new director by an upside down pyramid. Sounds crazy, but she refers to that pyramid as boss. Now, Jessie is the director, and as the director, she is greeted with a whole new host of problems outside of searching for her brother. She is tasked with taking down a force from another dimension. And before she can find, And before she can find her brother, she must get rid of it all. Along the way, Jessie will meet some hopeful survivors like the FBC janitor, a really funny old guy, Ati. His comedic beats will add some humor to this crazy world. And Agent Pope, who you would think is the director of the FBC because she knows everything there is, but she just becomes really good friends with Jessie. And last but not least, we have another very important person. We have the Agent Marshall. His whole squad was destroyed by the other force, and his goal is to help her take them down. Now, the motion capture and the face detail in this game was phenomenal. So again, if you haven't played it, you need to play this game. But the voice actors do such a great job in encapsulating everything there is about the role that I think they would actually be perfect for the movie. And the reason why is because this movie isn't going to be a huge box office hit. This isn't going to every movie theater near you. It's actually going to be releasing next year in 2020 on Netflix. It's going to have a runtime of about 110 minutes, just in and out. And it's going to be a PG-13 rating just because it is not so much about showing you gore or just driving you insane. Well, actually, I said that backwards. But it's not so much about gore as it is about driving you insane and entering a new world. Think of this movie as a mix between Shutter Island, Constantine, and a little touch of horror, as well as Doctor Strange. And I couldn't figure out who I wanted to do as the director, but after thinking about it long and hard, I want you to be unnerving and just weird this whole movie. So I'm going with Ari Aster. And that is my movie, Control: Investigation of Paranormal.
All right. Yeah.
Good luck, Jason.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right. Well, so before we get to Jason, we actually have Mike up next. Mike, make your case.
All right. So I went a completely opposite route of Jarmar. Instead of choosing some game that barely anyone knows, I chose a game that every Nintendo fanboy has been dying for them to start doing something with since the Switch came out. My movie is Metroid. You start off with an opening to Bounty Hunter landing on a planet where she enters the base of some pirates that she's been hired to take down because they stole the Metroids and are trying to weaponize them. You follow her as she goes through, discovers that some of the Metroids have been let loose. She fights off some of the pirates till she inevitably meets up with the main pirate leader and the rest of his crew that's left over when she's done. The pirate leader is going to be Ridley. And not the Ridley that we know. He's not going to be a giant dragon. Not yet. It's going to be a human form of Ridley, played by Anthony Hopkins. They're going to have some dialogue back and forth. He's going to reveal that he knows who Samus, this bounty hunter, is. She removes her helmet, revealing to the entire crew of pirates that she's a woman and that she's also being played by Brie Larson. From there, Samus has to take on the rest of the pirates, along with Ridley, who has his own suit that is powered by the Metroids. Once she gets done with the pirates and she focuses on Ridley, they go back and forth until finally he loses control, and things start to go awry. The pirate base slowly begins to crumble upon itself as he loses more and more control of the Metroids, leaving Samus to have to focus on escaping. Samus will go through and fight off any Metroids that she has to as she tries to get back to her ship until she eventually comes across the Mother Brain. At this point, we're going to have an incredible fight sequence where it's going to try to have as many callbacks to the boss fight as possible and have her try to figure out how she can defeat this before she inevitably does and then makes her way back to the ship. The movie ends with her getting back on her ship, and you see the cleanup crew from the Federation coming to try to contain what Metroids they can. Credits roll, and then we get to the end, and there's a end credit scene. And this scene is under the rubble. Ridley now becomes his true form that we all know and love, setting up Metroid 2. All of this will also be directed by the fantastic Jordan Peele, so that way you get everything from beautiful shots to a little bit of a horror aspect to it, so that way it keeps you in suspense the entire time. And let's be honest, we all want a Metroid movie as much as we want more Metroid games, so we all can't wait for this to happen. And it's going to be a big budget movie. It's going to be in theaters. It's not going to be on Netflix or Hulu or anything like that.
Are you done? Is that it?
That's it.
I mean, I'm surprised. I expected to hear it at the end of it because it sounded like you were getting blown the whole time.
Well, I was just gonna if he ran a 4K.
Wes, you disappeared there. What'd you say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-oh, we lose him?
No, there he is.
I'm here.
He's back.
Okay.
Yeah, totally didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I was just gonna ask if he ran a 4K right before he
Yeah.
started.
It did sound like you struggled a bit on that.
I'm really worried that your fucking like arteries clogged in the middle of talking. Like, make sure you're okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. All right. So now we're on to the bitch of the
Jesus.
week.
All right, here we go.
I'm interested to see what you do with the topic, my friend.
All right. Disney Animated Studios, in association with Epic Games, presents Fortnite, the movie. So the plot is going to feature two protagonists. We got Jonesy and Ramirez. So for those that don't know, they're pretty much the two basic bland characters that you get at the beginning of the game. They are part of a elite team set into Athena. Again, for those that don't know, I had to look it up. That's the name of the island that the whole game takes place on. They're responding to report a large surge of energy that's emanated from an abandoned mansion located on the edge of the island. Once they get there, they navigate through a maze of booby traps like spikes, ice, spring traps, and proximity boogie bombs, and that leave the majority of their team injured, just to get to the basement where they find Zenith. He's brought back Carbide, who's like the blue superhero that kind of looks like Iron Man, because he's learned that Omega, which is the more evil-looking, you know what I'm talking about, more evil-looking Iron Man character guy, is back, and he's teamed up with other evil characters like Oblivion, Omen, Vendetta, and Raven, and they've raised an evil army of Sentinel soldiers led by the Ultimate Knight to take over. According to Zenith, that there's an amulet that used to be the main source to power Athena. But as the island grew, it became too powerful. The elders of the island decided to destroy it and bury it in chests around the island. There are 4 locations that are protected by the ancestors of the elders who destroyed it. If they're ever put back together, he who holds the power will be unstoppable. Omega has learned where the pieces are, and he set his minions to get them. They need Jonesy and Ramirez and their team, what's left of them, to travel to the 4 locations to work with those who have been tasked with protecting them to find the pieces of the amulet to stop Omega. This sets Jonesy and Ramirez on an adventure through the island of Athena. Along the way, they meet a host of Fortnite characters, including a man that they mistake for John Wick, who insists he isn't John Wick, but acts and talks and moves like John Wick, and a curious little llama that follows them through the entire journey, who's packing a surprise for them at the end. There will be back and forth battles at each location, where Jonesy and his team will lose to Omen, Vendetta, Raven. At the last location, it will lead to an epic battle. Jonesy will reach out to all the good people of Athena to stand up against evil, and it'll become the unassuming leader of Athena. And it'll be like a big kind of all-out battle to end it, kind of a la almost like a spoof off of what happened at the end of Avengers. As far as the cast, I only cast basically the three main characters. So Jonesy will be played by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Ramirez will be played by Michelle Rodriguez, and Zenith would be played by John Chow. And then a special guest of Keanu Reeves playing Reaper, who's the character who pretends like he's not John Wick. There you have it, folks. Fortnite the movie, coming to a theater near you sometime whenever Disney hears this and decides it's a good idea and they want to fucking make it.
All right. So there you have it. There's the three of them. Do you want to go ahead and go, Wes?
You did better with that than I thought, so that's good.
Well,
yeah, definitely.
I think.
All right. So I want to go ahead and grade. So the movie that I would want to see the most out of the three would be Control. It sounds like it'd be a kick-ass movie. I'm not interested in that game at all. But I'm really interested. The title's fucking rad. Investigation of the Paranormal. I'm super into that. And it sounds like it'd be a cool flick. Not gonna lie. I would totally watch it. The next one, I would pick Fortnite. I really like what you did with the story. And I like how you had the amulet split apart in the chest and the island. I think that's a really cool idea. I'm not gonna lie. I totally dig the llama following them around. I think that was a genius idea to do that. And the character that insists he's not John Wick, but he looks and talks just like him. Mike, with the Metroid one, you're right. Everybody's going to want to see a Metroid movie. But what you pitched, I didn't feel like there was a lot of backstory there to help me understand of like, hey, it starts off with a bounty hunter landing on a planet and enters like a base of pirates. But why did these Metroids get loose? You know, you said they have been let loose and, you know, they meet up with the main pirate leader. The pirate leader is Ridley in human form with Anthony Hopkins. Like, it all makes sense, but I need some backstory there to kind of understand how the movie is. I mean, this may sound really dumb, but what the fuck is a Metroid? I don't know. A lot of people won't know. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go Control, Fortnite, Metroid.
All right. So mine is a little different. You know, I have some different critiques. So I'll go ahead and go through like what I didn't like about them, and then I'll grade them. Jarmar, you really just lost me with the title. Like it just makes me think of a Paranormal Activity movie, and I hate those. So like that's just a personal thing. Like it's nothing that you could have known. So like
I'm glad you're judging.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, I really did. I did like that you picked Ari Aster as your director because he has some amazing camera work, and I feel like from what I've seen of Control, it really needs good camera cinematographer and camera work to do it justice. So I like that you picked a director who knows how to do that kind of shit. Mike, I would love a Metroid movie, like hardcore, like I'm down. But the no Ridley, like no Dragon Ridley, you know, kind of threw me off. And then you also picked Brie Larson, which I have nothing against her. Like I'm not like one of those like fucking white dudes on the internet lately. But my only problem is like Samus is 6'3" and Brie Larson's only 5'7". Like Samus is supposed to be like this tall, like very slender, powerful woman. And I'm not sure Brie Larson could pull off that aspect of it. Like, yeah, she has the power down and now she's blonde, but that's kind of it. And then
Shia LaBeouf isn't 2 feet tall. Just saying.
And then Jason, so you did a lot better than I expected for Fortnite, like what I gave you. And it's actually totally different than what I would have done with it, which I like. But you're also eating something right now, so I don't like that.
Wow.
And you lose points because you're eating.
No, and you know, like I definitely like that you caught, like you seem to capture the essence of the the comedy value that Fortnite has, like including boogie bombs. Like it'd be hilarious just to see one of those go off and then everybody do stupid fucking dances. Like I'm tired of seeing those, but in that context, I'd probably laugh pretty good. So you did a good job on that. It was, your story was totally different than I expected. So that's really the only con, but that's not really a con even. So for me, I'm giving Jason 2, or I'm Jason. It'll go Fortnite, Metroid Control for me personally, just off this round.
All right, we're off to a good start.
All right.
Now topic doesn't matter. Now it's about how well you can attack. Where's my phone at? I'll go ahead and get 30 seconds on the clock. Jake, you want to get them ready?
Yeah, so first up for our round 2, which we lovingly call Fuck Everyone Else, we have Jason going first.
All right.
All right, let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
And go.
All right, first Jarmar. So that just sounds like another video game bomb. It really sounded like you'd just recap the prologue of the game. How many directors were there again? Mike, on to you. A badass chick in space, and you cast Brie Larson. Way to typecast her, man. That's not really cool. And also, if everybody wanted a Metroid movie, it would have been done by now. How long has Metroid been out, and it's never been made into a movie? It sounds like the whole premise is just too confusing to put into a movie because
time. All right. That was good.
All right. So that was Jason with our Fuck Everyone Else. Next up is Jarmar.
All right, you ready?
Let me take a deep breath.
Fuck you.
Let me
right,
know.
I'm ready.
Spit some fire.
I'm ready.
And start.
Mike, taking a large property is just doomed to fail. You can't make anyone happy with a property as large as Metroid. So just back away from it. Not to mention Nintendo had Mario Brothers. It was an awful movie. We love it, but it's okay. Fortnite is a property that would benefit from a movie in 2018. It's losing viewers on Twitch all the time. And not to mention, you didn't even include Ninja. What are you thinking? I'm done.
Oh, wow. All right.
That's
Plus
all I
points
needed.
for shaving off 7 seconds. Okay. All right. Well, process of elimination, Mike, you know you're next.
Oh yeah, that was pretty simple to figure out.
All right,
I don't
ready?
know. Sometimes we question you. No.
I mean, I don't pay attention a lot, so I give you that.
All right. I was trying to like porn on Instagram or whatever you're talking about. Twitter.
It's Twitter because Instagram people can't see it.
Free the nipple.
Oh, the gram. Man, maybe I would kill to be a 12-year-old right now and have Instagram like all the 12-year-olds do. Since anyone above the age of 12 shouldn't be on it. Okay, you ready?
I'm very sure. Why not?
Just keep going. We don't need to rest on that statement.
All right, and go.
All right, let's start with Jarmar. First off, you choose a game that barely anyone's played. The only reason why you played it is because Kind of Funny talked about it. So once you get Greg Miller's dick out of your mouth, why don't you pick a real game and make a movie about it that's not just on Netflix? Jason, you did decent with your Fortnite idea, but let's be honest, Gamer was a better version of your movie. And to be honest, you pick The Rock for Jonesy. Like, that makes no sense at all. Jonesy is not this giant monster of a man. He's just like this basic, boring white dude. You definitely should have done a better job of your casting. And also, what's the llama going to do at the end? Shit?
All right. Jake, why don't you go first?
Yeah, sure. All right. So, Jason, you did kind of bring up that, like, if Metroid was as popular and people wanted the movie, Nintendo would have made it. Nintendo hasn't made a movie in quite some time, and it has nothing to do with popularity. It has to do with Mario Brothers, exactly, which is something that Jarmar brought up, I believe. So, that kind of hurt your argument a little bit, but I did like that you went after Jamar's idea for Control by asking how many directors there were, because that was something that I noticed in his explanation too, about how, like, oh, it's this person is the director of this, but he answers to the director of this. But then again, you're eating, so it really ruins it.
I'm not eating. I was putting something away. Sorry.
Okay.
I was listening intently.
A mute button, sir.
Okay. Anyway,
That
so
microphone picks up more than I thought. My bad. I was kind of
yeah. You definitely had some good points about Control, but I didn't feel like your argument against Mike's Metroid was very strong. As far as Jarmar goes, I mean, you were saying that Metroid is too popular. Like I feel like it's the perfect amount of popular. Like I don't know. Like I don't think that anything you can make a movie about is going to be too popular for a movie. You know, like this is kind of a weird argument to me. But you did nail Jason by not by saying he didn't include Ninja, which I thought of as well. And then you get bonus points for being negative 7 seconds. As far as Mike goes, you know, you said that no one cares about Control, which is very true. And then you kind of nailed Jason on the casting of Fortnite, which, you know, that's also true. So for me, I'm going to go with Mike, because I didn't really have a problem with either of his arguments. They were both sound. So it's Mike, Jarmar, and then Jason.
All right, over to me. Jake, you nailed it on the head. I don't even know what else I can possibly add on there. So I'm in the exact same order.
All right.
I'd like to just make a point that you know what? Never mind. Fuck it. Never mind.
Save it for round 3.
Yeah. All right. So for round 3, we have what we lovingly call "Don't Come for Me." First up, we have Mike. Wes, you got 30 seconds.
All right, 30 seconds on the clock. You ready, bud?
I'm ready.
And go.
All right, let's start with Jamar. You said my movie is too large, it's going to fail. Like, come on now. You can't say that. Detective Pikachu was a huge risk, and it fucking did phenomenal. Metroid's not going to have any problems. And as far as Jason goes with typecasting Brie Larson, yeah, I chose a space chick from Captain Marvel and made her Samus. She also cosplayed Samus on her Instagram for Halloween last year. So it looked pretty good, and I was like, fuck it, why not? And then as far as you saying Nintendo doesn't make movies, well, yeah, because they don't want to trust just anybody to make their movies, because look what happened with the Mario Brothers.
Wow, you totally just took Jake's rebuttal and used it for yourself. Way to go.
Well, I already planned that, actually. I can't help but Jake decided to try to go and rip you guys apart before I had a chance.
Okay, well, that was fun. I like that. Okay, who's up next?
So next up, we have Jason.
Me, huh? All right, cool.
All right,
I'm ready.
Seconds on the clock. Go.
All right, first of all, Mike, yeah, they lost a bunch of Twitch followers. That's also because Ninja left, took 80,000 followers with him. Kind of hard to do that. It's easy to make an animated movie because kids will go see it. Movies will make money when kids go see it. As far as Jarmar goes, have you ever seen a movie called Planet 51? Because The Rock did the voice of a white guy who was not a big badass guy in that movie, and it actually was pretty damn good. So yeah, okay, bye.
All right, shade a second. Although I think you got the names mixed up there.
Did I?
I don't know. Like Jarmar was the one to mention Twitch followers and all that good
I
stuff.
thought that was Mike that
That's
mentioned
right.
that. My bad. I wrote it down under, but I must have been. Oh man, I don't know.
Yeah, whatever.
I've had a couple beers tonight, so. You know.
Yeah, he watched the Browns game, so he needs to drink.
Okay.
All right. So last up for this round, we have Jarmar. Obviously, right?
You ready,
Oh,
Jarmar?
wait, no, I think yeah, I'm ready.
All right, and go.
All right, Jason. So Control will definitely be a different movie. It's using the voice actors, which is something that hasn't been done before in any other video game movie. Not to mention that I only have one director. It's Ari Aster. I gave you a vibe of what the movie would be going for with naming those. Another thing, Mike, no one's dicks in my mouth. I like Greg Miller just like you, and you can't pretend that it wouldn't be a big deal that he backed the game because you heard of it, because he mentioned it. He was Video Gamer of the Year a few years back. He's a huge influencer. The property is perfect because no one knows too much about it. Just like you guys just said, which doesn't make sense. You guys made my point. Go ahead.
All right.
So yeah, I'll go and jump in here. And that's actually why in the opening round, one of the reasons why I went with yours, because it sounds like a rad movie and I don't know much about it. I don't have any interest in the game, but I would totally watch the shit out of a movie, especially a Netflix movie where I don't have to waste my time going to a movie theater by myself because Sarah probably wouldn't want to see it. All right, so I agree with you on there. Mike, you talked about Detective Pikachu. It didn't really do as well as they thought it was going to do. I do like Brie Larson. You know, you brought up her cosplay as Samus. And did you mention on Instagram? Did I hear that right?
Yeah.
Ew, gross. Instagram's gross.
Ridiculous.
It sucks. And no one should be on it. And then, Jason, you talked about, you lost a bunch of Twitch followers. You stated, obviously, you got them all mixed up. Who was actually coming at you?
I did. Yeah, my bad. That was my fault.
Kind of disheartening when you're defending and you're defending the wrong items for the wrong people.
I still defended what was said. I might have mixed up who said it, but I defended what was said.
You're right. It's a tough one. I think hands down the best defense came from Jarmar's side. Mike and Jason, it's really a toss up. I feel you guys were very even there. God, I don't know.
That hurts that I was even with the guy who got the people wrong.
Yeah, I want to go Jarmar, Mike, Jason.
Ugh.
What was that sound?
That was Jason realizing how close he is to being bitch of the week 2 weeks in a row.
Was that the alcohol coming out?
that was just yeah, whatever.
Yeah, so mine's a little bit different. I definitely liked that. I did like that Mike brought up Detective Pikachu and how it was different than what everybody was kind of expecting. They didn't just do like a straight Pokemon movie kind of thing. And then he did defend, the criticism against Brie Larson being, Samus by saying that she cosplayed it and it worked. So that's cool. Like I like that he did that.
And she was hot.
Yeah, right.
Bingo.
So Jason, I like that you brought up the Twitch viewers, just like Wes said, but I didn't like your defensive your casting choices. Like just you referenced Planet 51 and that was awful, so I don't know why anybody would ever reference that movie ever. So I mean that kind of was meh for me.
No, the Rock was good in it though.
And then Jarmar, you brought up that it was unique, which obviously I always give people shit for not thinking outside the box, and you definitely are. I didn't like that you missed the point of Jason and Maya's talking about the directors. Like in the storyline, there's a director of control, there's a director of this, and then there's the boss thing, and it's just like a weird pyramid scheme, and that's what we were joking about. Not that you said that you said it would be Ari Aster as the director, but inside the game there are so many different directors or bosses or people in charge of different areas of control. You know what I mean? That's what we were saying. At least that's what I was saying. But you didn't have to defend against me. So for me, I would give Mike 2, Jason, or Mike, Jason, Jarmar is how I would do it.
Wow. Okay.
Damn.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I take personal offense when you don't get the jokes.
Well, just so you know, I'm referring to Jason because that's who I'm battling, not DJ. So I'm sorry that you can't keep up with the story that one director killed himself. She picks up a weapon and now she's the director. That's how it works in this world. She has a boss that she listens to, just like any other job. But I mean, that's okay. Thank you.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't realize that was any part of your story at all.
Yeah, it didn't come through clear.
Yeah.
How? Okay, that's fine.
So
I'm sorry.
It wasn't just me. So
maybe I'll read in Sesame Street for you guys. Sorry.
So before we go into our closing rounds, it's a pretty close race between everybody. You could easily tie for 2 people being in the bottom this week, depending on how the closing goes. So I want to make sure everybody's on their A game. All right, so this order doesn't really matter. Jake, I did type one in the show notes, but we can pretty much go into any order since everybody did go first, second, and third within those past 3 rounds. So whichever way you want to go ahead.
I mean, yeah, we can just go with how we have it on the show sheet. So yeah, for closing arguments, these are untimed, but keep it short. We have Mike first.
Awesome. All right, so I'm going to keep this real simple. Detective Pikachu, it may not have been like a box office, bombshell, but people still loved it. They still talk about it. And overall, it showed that if you give something the love and respect it deserves, you can make a good movie out of it. And I feel like with Metroid, with the right director, and especially with Brie Larson clearly being a fan of the character, she's going to show the respect and love to Samus that Samus deserves and that what we all deserve to see in a movie. And honestly, I don't know anyone who wouldn't want to see a Metroid movie. And yeah, Metroids don't make a whole lot of sense, but even to people, unless you deep dive into it, you just like to shoot aliens and then, fight big badass bosses. What else do you need?
A fucking story. All right.
I feel like he just took my my closing from last time and applied it to his Metroid movie.
First off, I didn't start off as we are all red-blooded Americans who like booze, boobs, and bombs.
You almost said
But
that.
see,
Not
but
quite.
see, but here's the main difference. You took your defense and like equated
Okay, what-
it to Escape from New York, right?
We
Mike
don't-
just took his and equated it to Alien, which is the
Yeah.
better movie between the two.
Yeah,
Like, let's be
whatever.
honest.
All right, moving
All
on.
right, moving on.
All right, so next up we have Jarmar.
All right. Well, I placed this movie on Netflix.
Oh, shit.
Shit.
How drunk is Jason?
That
Jesus Christ!
No, that was me. That was actually.
Oh.
You're
Fuck,
a
that was my
fucking.
glass. That was my glass. Damn it. All right. So I placed this movie on Netflix because Control deserves to be seen. Netflix is a service that everyone already has, whether it's your mom, your brothers, your friend, your own. Who knows? Hey, if you got T-Mobile, you get it for free if you got 2 lines. But this movie is designed specifically for Netflix because you don't have to go out to the movie theaters to see it. Again, it's something that you will digest at home and just watch this movie that you really don't know anything about. It's going to definitely make you think. It's going to challenge what you believe is actually real in this world, as far as the movie, not reality. But the main point is the performances. Courtney Hope gave a amazing performance in this game, and it's a sad shame that people are overlooking it just because it's a game that they don't know what's actually going on. The performance was what really, really sold me on the game. Gameplay was fun. The design was great, but it was overall the performance. And I think that's the problem with most video game movies is that we focus on making the gameplay the plot instead of making it about the performance. And this movie will translate, or this game, I'm sorry, will translate very well because of that point alone. It's about the performance and not the gameplay. And I rest my case. And
So,
I'm also going to
Jamar,
clean up.
Yeah, what's with you and broken glass today?
God.
What's that? Is that your Flintstones cup?
No, that one's actually dirty. It was a small whiskey glass that I had some screwball peanut butter whiskey in.
Oh, I was about to say you're fucking bringing it. You got so hyped for your closing, you shattered a glass.
I went to reach out for my iPad and I forgot the glass was like sitting in the corner behind it, and I just bumped it off.
All right.
Yeah, I
Most
thought you went full
important
Stone Cold for a
question.
second there.
Yeah. Most important question though.
Yes, I
How
did
much
drink all the
whiskey
whiskey.
was in it? Okay.
It was
All right.
empty.
All right.
It was going to be a plus 10 points, but then you said you were reaching for the iPad and knocked it over, so that's -2. All right,
All right.
All right, me now.
Jason, my man, don't
All right.
do the same shit you did last week.
I'm
Bring
not
it.
going to. I'm not going to. All right. So let's settle in for a second. So Jarmar, it sounds like he wants to make a very artsy film that's going to be a Netflix original. That's great. Mike wants to appeal to everybody that wants a Metroid movie, which would be a bit of a niche audience. But when it boils down to it, if you're going to make a movie, you want to make something that's going to be appealing to the masses and that's going to make money. Fortnite, as an animated property, will do that. There are 250 million subscribers to Fortnite currently. There is an audience for this movie. It's an animated movie, so kids will go out in droves to see it. You have a lot of room to work with from all the different characters and all the different locations on the map that you can really have a lot of fun with. Somebody can, it'd be like a writer's dream. You can just include all these different things into the movies, and it's a property that keeps on giving. So there's going to be sequel after sequel after sequel after sequel that will, again, make money because animated movies make money. So in closing, Fortnite is the best choice to make a movie with out of the 3 properties given because it has a vast world with a ton of characters and kids will go see it. That's all I have to say. Thank you. Judges, you've been very, very good, and we
Oh,
really
yeah, I wanna
appreciate.
cut you off there. I tried that once. It doesn't work.
I was just
Oh,
I still lost.
I probably will too. That's
Foreshadowing.
All right. I'm gonna go. I'm just gonna go first again, Jake. Don't
yeah,
mind me.
go for it. Go for it, man.
I think you all did a really good job there for the closing. I think hands down, the one that closed it the best was Jason. So the reason I think Jason closed the best is he talked about the audience for the film, but more importantly, of why do studios make films? They make films to make money. Even Netflix wants to make money. They want to get subscribers to make money, so they make films to bring subscribers. So him talking about the money and the sequels and the writers being able to use all the different characters and stuff, I think really sold it really well and closed it up. For second place, I'm going with Jarmar. Again, you really, the whole contest or this whole Fanboy Fight Club episode, you really talked about how control deserves to be seen. I was interested from the pitch, and I like how you're bringing in the actual voice actors because that's something that hasn't been done before, and I'm interested in seeing that. Mike, I have you in third place here because there's no plot. I don't know what this movie's about. So,
It's about fighting space pirates and aliens.
You need a plot. I mean, don't get me wrong. I want to see them fight space pirates and aliens and shit, but it has to go from point A to point B. There's got to be a climax. There's got to be everything in the film.
All right. Well, so I mean, I'm going to have to agree with the first part. Jason, I think he closed it out really well, talking about like, I mean, I don't know that I'd go see it, but I can definitely see that there'd be 5 or 6 of these fucking movies with how fast they pump out some of these animated movies, how much money they make. I mean, it like, if a movie like Hotel Transylvania, which was good, can get 3 of them made because how random it was, I'm pretty sure Fortnite could get 5 or 6 easy. And I like that you brought that up and explained it, how it was animated, so it's very easy to make, super quick, and it just has to have a good writer. I would have appreciated if you threw in like a good writer, like you get the guys who wrote the Lego Movie in on this. I think it'd be even better pitch for you. So Jason definitely won that round for me as well. The other 2 were neck and neck for me. I like that Jarmar brought up Netflix, and like that's definitely helps his case, because if he was trying to make it a big box office like summer blockbuster, it wouldn't work at all on Netflix with stuff like Love, Death, and Robots being pretty successful for what it was. I can see Control kind of fitting into that niche as well, especially on Netflix. So I definitely like that. And he broke his own glass out of passion, so you can't really, fault him for that. As far as Mike goes, like I like that you tied it tangentially into Alien. I like that it's a badass woman in space. I like that it's, you added Mother Brain and Ridley, even though it wasn't a dragon Ridley. But yeah, I kind of have to agree. You were missing some big plot points. It seemed like when you were doing your synopsis, you were paying more attention to the release or like the reveal that it's Brie Larson, rather than having that be at like the very end, which I think would be really cool if they kept it a secret the whole time, just like in the game, like nobody really knew who was playing Samus. Not that would happen, but it's kind of a cool idea to throw out there. So yeah, I have it as Jason, and then Mike, and then Jarmar.
Yeah, Jason, then Mike and Jarmar.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was writing everything down, and then I had it differently. Okay, based on what you were saying,
I had a mini heart attack because I thought that's the direction it was going before. I thought he was choosing Jarmar over Mason like the fuck.
Yeah, because if that would have happened, it would have been a really interesting scenario that I never thought we would have got into.
I know, right? I'm just like, oh, thank God.
But since you didn't do that way, it's not a 3-way tie.
Oh, good. I wasn't even paying attention. I have been keeping track of scores because I knew you were.
I have been, and
yeah, I didn't want it to affect how I was thinking, so that's why I didn't.
All right, so here we go. You guys ready for the totals?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, cool. Yeah, you guys sound like pumped. All right.
Yeah, let's do it.
Mike is the winner of tonight's Fanboy Fight Club episode with 9 points. Second place and third place were very close. Actually, all three of you guys were very close. The only thing that changed it was 1 point. Second place goes to Jason.
Yes,
the
that's-
bitch of the week.
Bullshit.
Yes.
And we have a new bitch of the week. Jarmar, my friend. Welcome to the club. We've all been there almost. Almost.
Right? No, I think we all have, right?
No,
Or
Mike hasn't
Mike
been.
Mike
hasn't.
hasn't been
I
yet?
haven't. I
He's
haven't
just
been bitching
skating
week yet.
by his
Skating
preparation
by.
5 minutes into it. His movie has no plot and he wins. Like, what the fuck is going on? That's cool.
Because he picked Metroid, man. Like, I have to go with what movie I'd rather see. I'd rather see a big budget Metroid movie than a Netflix Control movie. And that's what I have to base it off.
That's not the point, but that's okay. That's fine. I thought it was
Yeah, I mean, that is the point.
arguments,
Yeah.
not which one. I thought it was. I mean, this is not to be on the podcast. It's cool.
Yeah.
No, you're good. So you're right. There was no plot, and that's why in the opening he didn't get any points for me, and in the closing he didn't get any points for me. But he did a good job when it came to attacking and defending. So that's where he got some points.
That's
So
where I fucking live,
it's not-
bitches.
it's not necessarily the property picked, and unless you're talking about the
Sounds like it
opening.
was. It sounds like it was the property, but
Well, no, I mean, like when I
it's
when
fine.
I
Don't
look
explain
at
it. Don't explain it. I'm the bitch of the week. I'll take it.
All right.
It's not all you're taking, my friend. Okay, Jason, close it out.
All right. Thank you for listening to this week's podcast. We are Media Junkies. What's wrong?
You're just cutting out real bad.
I heard welcome.
Welcome to Gimmick Minute, everybody.
All right. Shit. Hold on.
No, go ahead.
Chill.
You're good.
Just
Chill,
go.
chill.
Just go.
Hold on. Just give me 1 second.
Oh, okay.
He's gonna
Here we
leave and
go.
come back.
Yeah, that's what I do. Then usually it works. All right. Thank you for listening to this week's Fanboy Fight Club podcast. We are Media Junkies' flagship podcast. We offer so much more. You can catch Michael and I on the Gimmick Minute Wrestling podcast, #LiveYourGimmick. If you're a Division 2 fan, you can find out tons of important info by listening to Jarmar and Wes on the Rogue Agents podcast, #Let's Go Rogue. You can find all of our YouTube content at youtube.com/MediaJunkie. And you can interact with Jake and the Fanboy Fight on the Fanboy Fight Club Facebook page, or tweet us at FBFC Podcast. Let us know if you agree with how things shook out tonight. So let me go ahead and close this out with a couple of questions. Will Michael get some mother brain? Will Jake admit that he likes the Joker after he sees it? Will Wes come back to battle after trying to keep track of Jake's math? And will Jarmar, the bitch of the week, switch to plastic? Find out the answers to all these questions and more on the next episode of the Fanboy Fight Club podcast. Goodbye, everybody.
For the Division 2 thing, I would like to point out that Jarmar is the one that gives all the important info because I usually find out the day we record.
Hey, wait, where was my math bad? I'm confused.
It wasn't the math. You just
it was-
made a strong point for me to be over Mike, and then you're like,